Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and syukur alhamdulillah we meet again in another video. So ladies and gentlemen, in this video I am going to explain to you about assessment 3. Okay, so you have done with assessment 1 and also assessment 2, and this time around we are going to take a look at assessment 3. Assessment 3 is going to be a group discussion or role play, and the marks for this assessment is 30%. Okay, so let's take a look at what the assessment is all about. Okay, so assessment 3 is a group discussion on issues at the workplace. It is a role play or a group discussion whereby you discuss an issue related to the workplace, you discuss it in a group, and you make it as a role play. A role play, for example, there will be a leader, there will be a boss, a supervisor, and then there's a staff, the staff that has a problem, and also there could be some secretaries. So it depends on the type of issues that you are going to discuss in the group. Okay, so you are expected to present a role play and submit a portfolio in week 11 and week 12. Okay, so this lecture usually I give it in week 9, so you have a few more weeks to be prepared. Okay, so the marks given is 30%, language is 12, content is 8, and communicative ability is 5%. So altogether 12, 8 and 5 is 30%. Okay, and as you are going to discuss in a group, so 4 members in a group and 3 members if necessary, so it depends on the number of students within the class. So if you can, you just combine 4 members in a group. So now that you have done with assessment 1, do you still remember the group presentation, the pre-recorded video on an organizational hierarchy? So you do that as a pair work. So I would suggest you to just combine 2 pairs to make it a group. Okay, so 2 pairs and then you combine it into a group. So those who are already working with 3 people, you can just maintain the same group, and for those who are working in pair for assessment 1, you can just join another pair to make it as one group. Alright, so the presentation is a 15 to 20 minutes live presentation. This is not a recorded version, not recorded like part 1, but this is a live presentation, and we are going to do it using Google Meet or WhatsApp video call if necessary. So Google Meet, I would prefer Google Meet, and we are going to have only the group. Okay, only the 4 people or the 3 people in the group during that Google Meet. So just the 4 of you, and then me, including me, there will be 5 people. So the rest of the class, you don't have to join the meet. Okay, only the group who's going to take the test is going to be in the Google Meet. Okay, so what are the topic that you are going to discuss? What are the issues? It is related to issues at the workplace. Okay, issues at the workplace. So we have discussed a few issues at the workplace before for your assessment 2, the written assignment. So in this lecture this time around, I'm going to explain to you more about issues at the workplace, to give you more idea and then to give you more options for you to choose what are the issues that you can discuss about when you're talking about issues at the workplace. Okay, so overall that is this is the format. Okay, so this is the instruction. Remember, not only you have to come up that you have to act, that you have to do a role play, a group discussion role play, but you also have to submit a portfolio. Okay, so you have been given time to prepare beforehand, so you practice together with your own group. So let's say we are going to have the tests, the group discussion test, let's say in week 11. So the first group, you have to prepare before that. The topic, what are the issues, you are going to choose that on your own. You have to choose your own issues. You have to assign characters to each of the group members. Who is going to be the boss? First of all, you have to decide what is the issue, and then who's going to be the staff or the person who's having the issue, and then who's going to deal with it, who's going to report it to the authority, who's going to report it or discuss it with the boss, who is going to be the boss, and then who else do we have other than the boss. Probably you are going to have like 2 members having the problem, later we are going to take a look at some of the issues, and then you have to decide the characters or the issues that you're going to play at the workplace. Okay, and assign a role or character to each group member. Each student is responsible to introduce an aspect of the discussion. So when you assign a character to each of the member, please bear in mind, do not choose a character that is just do not contribute anything to the discussion. For example, a secretary. So as the secretary, you just sit there, holding a pen and then just write everything other members is going to say. No, because this assessment is you are going to be evaluated individually. Even though you are having the discussion within a group, you are going to be evaluated individually. Okay? Alright. So you are responsible to introduce an aspect. So for example, you are one person can be the staff with a problem, another person can be the staff who is taking another his friend or her friend and then see the boss. One person can be the boss, one person can be the president or the CEO of the company, or one person can be the supervisor, But everybody must play a role and have a contribution to the group discussion. Everybody should express their views with regards to the aspects covered by individual members. Okay, so when one person explains to you something, you have to respond. You don't just, don't contribute anything. You have to contribute. So the character or the play, the flow of the problem, the discussion, you have to draft it, and then you have to plan ahead how the plot is going to be. Okay, and remember not to get carried away with the discussion. Your goal is to suggest solution to the identified problem. So later I'm going to show you how to organize your discussion. So you have about 15 minutes to discuss. So within that 15 minutes, the 4 of you, now that you have organized or you have assigned a role to each of the group member, how are you going to organize the discussion? What is going to happen first, what is going to happen at the middle, and how you're going to end the discussion? Okay, I'm going to teach you all of that in our next video. And next is you need to compile 5 articles related to the issues chosen and draft the role play. So this one, I'm going to need you to go and find articles related to the issue. Articles are from local newspaper. You can go to NST or the Star Online and then just look for the issues related, the articles related to your issues, and then provide it, compile it as a portfolio. And also I need a draft of the role play, and submit the portfolio articles, okay, the 5 articles, and also the role play, the draft of the role play before the presentation. So if you are the first group to present, then you need to submit to me the portfolio before your presentation so that I can see it, and then I know what are the things that you are going to discuss, the flow of the discussion in your group. So first you need to find the issue. Okay, for example, office bullying or bullying at the workplace. So you have chosen bullying at the workplace. So the first instruction is to assign a role character to each of the group member. So who is the person being bullied? Okay, that could be one person, and then another person could be the bullier. The person can be the bully. Okay, so what happened actually? And then probably another person can be the head of department or the supervisor, and then another person could be other colleague who is concerned about the bullying situation that is happening at the workplace. Okay, so now that you have assigned each character, then you have to go and find 5 articles related to workplace bullying, and then draft the role play. So when you draft the role play, you have to mention first what happened. So the person being bullied, you met, you go and then you discuss with a colleague that you are being bullied, you have been bullied, and then your colleague, as a friend, you listen to this person, and then you said, okay, we have to take this to the higher authority, or we have to tell the supervisor related to this issue. So the next scene would be probably the 4 of you is seated in the office with the supervisor, the bully, and also the person being bullied, and also the friend. So you discuss what happened, okay, and then what are the solution to the issue. And remember, all of this is going to happen in 15 minutes. All right, and a sample of the articles, the portfolio, the sample is available in Google Classroom. I'm going to show you later after this how the sample looks like. And okay, so this is the guideline for the group discussion. First, you carry out an internet search. So before you decide the topic that you're going to discuss in your group discussion, you have to do some research about the common problems faced by companies or multinational companies. So we have discussed about a lot of issues that could happen at the workplace. Other than bullying, there's sexual harassment, a lot of other issues. Later I'm going to explain to you more issues. And then you have to suggest a new initiative that can be in a form of a solution or recommendation to overcome the problem. So remember, in the group discussion, you not only discuss about the problem, you are also trying to come up with a solution to the problem. Okay, so remember, you have to highlight the problem, and then mention why do you think, what are the repercussions, what happened if the problem keep on happening, and then later you come out with a solution. How can this be solved so that it would happen in the future? Okay, use the elements needed for a group discussion, such as greeting. Okay, so first when you start the discussion, you need to have greeting, and then agreeing or disagreeing. You present opinions clearly, making suggestions or recommendation. So these are some of the technique that can contribute to high marks when you use it in your group discussion. Okay, the etiquette that you use when you are dealing in a group discussion. Okay, so moving on to the next one. Alright, now how do you organize the group discussion? Okay, like I mentioned before, you have about 15 to 20 minutes to discuss in your group. Now let's take a look at how to organize the strategies in the group discussion. Okay, so how to organize your group discussion? My suggestion, throughout the 15-20 minutes of your group discussion, it should be broken into 4 parts. And at the same time, you have to remember to use language properly, appropriately, language fluency, okay? And then your non-verbal. Okay, if you are the boss, or if you are sad that you are being bullied, you have to show that you are sad. You cannot be excited. It's a role play, so non-verbal communication really contributes some marks to it. So if you are the person who bully other people, you cannot show that you are shy, and if you are the person who is the victim of bullying, so you cannot be like too overconfident, right? Okay, so non-verbal cues is also it plays a role in your group discussion. Okay, next is your participation and the taking. It has to be clear. Okay, not only just one person keeps on talking, you have to give enough or ample opportunity, for a fair opportunity for everybody to speak and talk. because, as I mentioned, the marks is going to be graded individually. Okay, so next is appropriacy. So how do you discuss appropriately? Now let's take a look at the 4 parts role play. Okay, so this is the 4 parts role play. These are a suggested ways on how to organize your group discussion role play. Okay, first, you have to highlight the issue. What are the issues faced by the staff? Is it human or infrastructure? So what is human issues or what is infrastructure issues? I'm going to cover that in our next video, in our next lecture. Okay, so first you have to mention, if you are talking about workplace bullying, you have to highlight, okay, the problem is bullying, and then if the bully keeps on happening, the person being bullied doesn't have the motivation to come to work, you know, they have problems sleeping, they could end up in depression, and also, you know, much more serious effects later on. After that, you have to explain the repercussions. Please, I'm sorry for the error here. Okay, so you have to explain the repercussions. Repercussions means the bad consequences if you keep this problem happens. No, there's no step taken. Okay, so what are the effects if the problem continues or no steps taken to improve the situation? So you have to mention this in the role play. So you have to tell your supervisor, for example, okay, sir, madam, we have to end this workplace bullying, because if it keeps on happening, people will have no motivation to come to work, and blah blah blah. Okay, part 3, you suggest the solutions. What are the solutions to overcome this problem, and also provide multiple options to the solutions given. So not just only one solution. For example, you say, okay, so the person who bullies people have to stop bully people. Okay, do you think that solution can be implemented? Probably yes. Probably the person, you know, tomorrow or in the following week, the person can actually like repent it, and then stop bullying others. How if the person do not stop bullying other people? So what are other options of the solution for that problem? Okay, alright, and then number 4, analyze the decision. So what are the final decision? Is it a long-term solution? Is it a short-term solution? And in the future, if this happens with other staff, not just this person, okay, so this time around you have this person bully other people. So what happens if in the future there are other cases, other bullying cases? Can the same solution be implemented then? Okay, so you have to consider that and discuss in the group as well. Okay, so now let's take a look at the group discussion, the rubrics or the marks, how you are going to be evaluated on the group discussion and the portfolio. The documents will also be made available in Google Classroom. Okay, let's take a look at. Alright, so this is how you are going to be evaluated. Okay, so language 12 marks, content 8 marks, and communicative ability is 5 marks. So how to get as high as 10 to 12? You know, you have confident control of the language, linguistic, the language used. And next is how to get content as high as 7 to 8 marks. You always communicate ideas effectively, clearly, able to respond and develops interaction effectively. And finally, the communicative ability and how to score as high as 5. You have to be highly articulate, speaks confidently and convincingly, and organizes discourse well. So even though your character is the person being bullied, okay, it doesn't mean that you cannot show confident in speaking, right? Okay, it doesn't necessarily means that. You can still show that you can communicate effectively even though you have you have been received a character that shows a low confidence level. Okay, so play the part, play the role. All right. Okay, next let's take a look at the scoring guide for the portfolio. Okay, so you need to have 5 articles, list of references, minimum 5 whole articles, and all articles must be relevant to the issue. Example given is the workplace bullying, so all articles must be relevant to the issue. And how the organization must display remarkable effort in extracting, organizing, and giving relevant points to the related to the issue. Okay, all right. Okay, so this is how you are going to be evaluated. Later you can actually study this and discuss this and use this as the reference as you practice with your group members later. Okay, now we go on so to the next slide. Okay, I think that is all for me. So before we end, I would like to refresh what we have covered in this video. That is the format for assessment 3, that is the group discussion, and also the portfolio. Okay, so you have to form a group, 4 people. You have to do a role play of a group discussion, talk about the issues dealt in at the workplace. Okay, so stay tuned for part 2. That's all. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum, and see you later in the next video. Bye.